Hey, hi, hello everyone, and welcome to the ranking, which is the alternative form of the tournament. This is
Mhm.
a very special episode. Well, technically it won't be because it'll be most of our content will be filmed like this, but this is pre-recorded. So if you start commenting stuff in the chat and we don't respond, it's because it's we're in the past. We're in the past, and this is
Time
some form
travel.
of time travel. Exactly.
Mhm.
What do we have for the audience today, Bobby?
We have Black television. It's Black History Month. We're Black. So we thought, why not rank some pretty classic Black TV? And this one is special because usually when we do these,
Mhm,
Momo and I both have an idea of the list, but we don't know
mhm.
the order. But I was in charge. And so Momo has no idea what's on this
No
list.
clue.
So
I just really hope Girlfriends is on it because Girlfriends has been excluded from every single Black television thing we've done because we always forget it's there, even though we actually talk about it quite a bit.
we do. We always get on tangents about it. Girlfriends is on this list. It was
Okay,
first on this list, so I did not forget.
great, awesome.
All right.
Hmm,
Well, should we get
I
started?
guess we can get started.
Amazing. So we're starting off with one of Momo's absolute favorites. It's such a good
Oh
time.
my god. Oh my god, it's Craig of the Creek. He's gonna save the day.
He's gonna save the day. I wanted to start off on a good note, get us feeling good. And I know
Okay.
Momo loves Craig of the Creek. So Momo, would you like to go into Craig of the Creek for those who are
I
not aware of
actually
the show?
would love to go into Craig of the Creek. So Craig of the Creek stars Craig, I forget his last name, and it's what's his last
Big
name?
fan.
You know?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Let's
Maybe
look it up.
it might be Williams, maybe Robinson. I don't
Is
actually know. Can we
guess
get a fact checker?
we're
Can you
gonna
fact
fact
check
check
this,
that real
Bobby?
fast.
My
Uh
money is on Williams.
does he have a last name? No, he
I
should,
I
right?
think it's Williams.
They've just like they only just refer to him as
Craig.
Craig. Yeah. Well, keep going and I'll
Yeah.
fact check.
Um Yeah, so starring Craig, you see his family is in quite a few episodes. You go into like his background. His grandmother on his mother's side, yes, mother's side is like a politician, and his granddad on his mother's side raises vegetables, which I think is super cool. They've had quite a few episodes that have brought me to tears.
Mhm.
The Sparkle Cadet episode, I was a straight up mess because it was the first time I saw like a black magical girl in like modern day TV. This is a show I needed when I was a kid and I
Yeah.
didn't have. Instead, I had like other shows that were just like cartoons, but they had their issues, like The Proud Family, which was recently rebooted. I don't think we have the reboot on the list because has it come out yet?
No, the reboot comes out on the 23rd.
No, it
So
hasn't
we
come out
haven't
yet.
seen it.
So of course it didn't qualify for this. Um, the only thing that I think could possibly keep it off of Black Excellence is that it was created by two white men.
Yeah.
But then if we are going to put shows that were created by white people not on the A list, that not on Black Excellence, then Fresh Prince couldn't go on that list either.
A lot of these shows could not go on Black Excellence because
Yeah.
they were I think a lot of these shows kind of
Mhm.
fell victim to at the time that they were created, there weren't a ton of
Yeah,
Black executives and higher ups that were going to be, like, greenlighting these shows, so they needed a white
exactly.
face to get the shows greenlit, and then they had Black creatives
Mhm.
behind it. But I don't see why Craig of the Creek cannot be in Black excellence for the sheer fact that it's a magical Black boy
Yeah.
show. For that premise alone,
It is just
it's
Black boy
Black
joy.
excellence.
There's Black girl
It's Black boy
joy.
joy.
And it's like Black people in nature, which is not something we see ever.
No, never see it. I myself as a Black person, I don't go in nature. So, for those who do, I appreciate the representation. For me, that wasn't like a blight, in animation for me. I was like, "Okay, I don't go in nature, so I don't need to see it represented." But for those who do, Craig of the Creek is for you.
What's really funny is I was sort of like a half indoor, half outdoor child growing up. So like this was
Oh.
oh, what's that surprise? Do I give City Girl?
I don't it's not I don't get outdoorsy from you. I'm not getting that vibe.
I mean, like I've never gone strictly camping before, but like
Yeah.
every weekend, like actually every other weekend when I was growing up, I would go to like a nature park with my dad or like go kayaking,
Okay.
stuff like that. There was at a time where he would make us go to like a park, like go deep into the park and then just sit there and listen to nature. I hated that shit. I hated that
Oh.
shit so much. It was just so quiet. And he's just like, let's feel and relax with nature. And I'm just like, I'm gonna kill myself. I can't do this. I can't do this.
I'll kill myself right now. Don't think I
Um,
won't.
but yeah, from that experience, I've found out that I know quite a bit about birds, and I didn't realize like normal people don't have this much knowledge about birds.
I don't. Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
took a class in college about birds. I can tell
Are you
you one thing about them.
serious? That's so
I
cool.
well, no, okay. It was like a class that I absolutely needed to graduate, like, because it filled, like, some weird credit. I
Mhm.
I was a journalism major. Obviously, I didn't
I get
have
that.
fuck
I
all
get
to
that.
do with birds, but it's always just, like, weird, like, little, like,
Mhm.
"This class will satisfy this"
Mhm.
whatever. So, I was like, "Alright, I fuck with birds." It was like
Yeah.
birds in our society.
That's
But
hilarious. I don't know why, but like the title of the of the class is like Birds in Our Society. But yeah, growing up, I was so sure I was going to be like a marine biologist or like oceanographer or like an ichthyologist, like
Mhm.
studying something having to do with the ocean. Because I just like I did a lot with water when I was a kid.
Yeah, alright, Miss
Yeah.
Waterbender,
I know, Miss
Katara.
Waterbender, Miss Mermaid Girl. I
Miss
know.
Mermaid? Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I really wouldn't have like, it's not surprising, but I would have never guessed that you were, like, super into, like, nature and stuff like that.
Like somewhat so. I wouldn't say like, oh my God, let's go on a hike because like I live in Florida. There's no like higher
Yeah.
ground to hike. Except if it's like a repurposed landfill. But we're not gonna get into that. But what I was trying to get into was that the like one time I was driving with my friends and like I spotted like a bald eagle and I was like, "Oh my god, look, a bald eagle." And they're just like, "There's no bald eagles in Florida." And I was like, "Actually, you're wrong about that because look, there's one right there." And also like you see all the nests on the poles and such, like those are bald eagle nests. And they didn't believe me. But I do know because I know quite a bit about birds and I really felt represented by Craig of the Creek. Um and give them I'm gonna give them my black card so I can put it on the Black Excellence because I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I think this is the best black cartoon ever made.
I like Craig of the Creek for a completely different reason.
Mhm,
I appreciate the magical element of it, just
mhm.
because you rarely see Black people in that way. But I remember seeing a clip of, like, a family reunion episode,
Yes, the
and
Thanksgiving episode.
it was just so, like,
Black.
blackety black, and I was like, "What is this show?" I had never seen something like that before, and I was floored because I was like, this feels so, like,
Authentic. It felt so authentic.
so real." It didn't feel like a white person who had
Mhm.
kind of an idea of Black culture, and they're just basing
Yeah.
it off of stereotypes. It felt like there were Black people writing this, and so that was why I'm obsessed with the show, and I too will hand in my Black card because we're putting it on Black excellence. Uh,
What's actually so funny about that is that I watched the Thanksgiving special and I was like, "This is literally one of the best pieces of Black media I've ever seen in my life." I had to show it to my
Mhm.
mom, and she was like, "This is the best cartoon you've ever showed me, Joe." And I was like, "Damn. Wow.
Big moment.
Absolute excellence. Perfect."
Just mwah, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss for Craig of the Creek
Craig
coming
of the
in
Creek.
hot.
Also, I keep forgetting to mention this. I think I mentioned it before when Craig of the Creek was on our show before, but the
Mhm.
theme song is actually ska, which originated in Jamaica. So even the theme song has its roots in Black culture.
And it's like not I wanna say off the beaten
Mhm,
path, but it's not off the beaten path, but it's
mhm.
like Black culture, like, just to show the range of,
Yeah,
like,
of Black
how
culture.
of Black
Mhm.
culture, like, to use ska, which I love ska, so
Yeah, and ska is not normally attributed to Black culture. It's very like
no.
white
Surfer,
Anglo-Saxon,
yeah.
like it's like associated with that, but it didn't even originate there.
No, they took it, they stole it,
Yeah.
and appropriated it. What's new? Alright, so
But
from
Black excellence. Craig of the Creek is Black excellence. I tip my hat to every single Black and POC creator that's working on that show. I think I am like LinkedIn friends with some of them because I just love their work so much.
LinkedIn friends, we're
Yeah,
LinkedIn
I think
buddies.
I literally watched the Thanksgiving episode and I was like, I need to be connected to everyone that worked on this episode because it was absolute perfection. I think like 90% of them ignored me, but that's fine. I get
But
it.
that 10%.
The 10% were just like, this one's cool.
Love it. Love a
Yeah.
black show from infinity to infinity. Okay. Next up, we have
Mhm.
one of our first black sitcoms of the 2000s.
One on
Oh,
one.
this is Kyla Pratt's first appearance on this ranking.
Yeah.
She appears in Proud Family a little bit later on.
What's so funny is that like I know Kyla Pratt not from the Proud Family, not from One on One, but from Doctor Doolittle.
Oh my god. You know what? Kyla Pratt, she was getting them checks
She
in the
was.
90s and 2000s, and I fuck with that. One on One is a show
Mhm.
that I do remember enjoying
Mhm.
when it was on, like when I would watch.
Yeah.
Would I put it in black excellence? Probably not,
I
but it was a
wouldn't.
good show.
I the only thing I remember is that like the main character, I do not remember her name. Actually, was she even the main character? Was she just like I think the dad might have been the main character and she was just like
Yeah.
the daughter. But the daughter was not really good at many things, but the one thing she was super good at was driving, and the dad just could not accept that. That was the one thing I took away from that. But I believe the person that created it, I think she was a black woman.
Yeah, let's look it up. I
And
wonder if it
she has done quite a bit. She's associated with Disney. I believe they have some kind of scholarship they offer in her name.
Unita T. Boone?
Yes,
Netta?
Unetta, I think. T Boone. She brought us the
Interesting.
show, and I believe she brought us one other thing. I cannot remember the name.
Let's
I don't
see.
think it was That So Raven, but it was another black show.
Cuts. That's the only other thing that I
Maybe
see
that's it.
associated with her. Cuts. Oh, Raven's Home.
Raven's
She's a
Home. That's
showrunner.
it.
Yeah, she's a showrunner for Raven's Home.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
Love
believe I want to say she passed, but I do not want to put her in an early grave if she is still alive.
She did pass in
Yes.
2019.
Yes, she recently passed, and they have Disney has, a scholarship in her name.
Wow. Love a black woman from infinity to infinity.
Thank you, Unita
Uh,
T. Boone.
thank you. This show is perfectly like middle of the road for
I
me.
would say so as well.
I'm gonna give it like B tier. It's not like
Yeah,
C where it's like veering on bad, but still
yeah.
middle of the road. It's
I
just a good show.
like, the one thing I would bump it higher for is that it doesn't have, like, the daughter is light skinned, but actually in real life biracial stereotype that a lot of black sitcoms in the '90s and
So
early 2000s had.
that is true. But then I
Yeah.
think about the everything else about the show,
True.
and
And I
it
believe this was one of the shows that was killed in the UPN CW merger. Am I right about that?
I think you are, because it ended actually, maybe 2006, so that
Yeah, that's
merger took
the
place around
merger.
then. Yeah, so it got in
Yeah,
that.
like I believe most of the shows on this list were victim to that.
Yeah, they were on, what, UPN,
UPN
WB, and got the
axed in that
axe.
merger.
Mm-mm-mm.
To only in the future, the CW made 0 money from that merger.
So, when you think about it,
Like, what was the reason? What was the reason?
you coulda kept it. Like, if
Yeah,
y'all weren't making money, y'all coulda kept this, but
exactly.
I
So,
digress.
I guess it's really up to you. I would yeah, I guess B for, like, the content, but I would put it in A because it was created by a black woman and didn't have the, like, light skin, actually mixed black daughter, dark skinned father stereotype.
That is true. I will give it I'm gonna put it in A for that,
Okay.
because it did a lot of good. If the show
Yeah.
was just middle of the road, meh, that's okay. And
Mhm.
also, I appreciate black mediocrity in a way. So in this show, it's not fully mediocre, but it also is not like black excellence. So for that, it's an
Mhm.
A. Next up, finally making its first appearance
Oh,
ever.
it's gotta be Girlfriends.
There for
They're
thick
thick
and
and
thin.
thin.
Oh gosh. Girlfriends is a show created by Mara Brock Akil that was so like
Mhm.
pivotal to my childhood. Like I
Yeah.
remember catching glimpses of watching it with my aunt and my mom. And it definitely is a show about four women who should not have been friends.
That is accurate. They were such bad friends to each other. It's
Awful.
amazing, actually.
It's how they survive. Well, I guess they didn't all survive that long, because like, the last season or whatever, like, Tony is not there,
Yeah.
uh, but s for 4 Black women in a TV show,
Yeah, that's something. It
that's
happened.
something.
It
It sure
happened.
did.
It's not even the first time it did happen. Just let's just put that on the record. It wasn't
Yeah,
the first show to have 4 Black women.
absolutely not. I think probably one of the first was maybe, like, 227 or something like that,
Probably.
but in, like, a contemporary way?
Yeah. Um, it's just upsetting that it was made in, like, the early 2000s where, like, thin culture was it, like, reigned supreme. Your
Mhm.
stomach was an accessory. I said it like the Lizzo song,
That's a rare.
not an accessory. Those skills up on legendary. Sorry, it's like your stomach was an accessory. Also, I don't think anyone in the show was, like, less than more than a size 0, maybe a size 2. Size 4 if we're really pushing it.
Yeah, for, representation,
Yeah,
yeah.
representation. The fact that one of the characters' like main personality traits was that she was mixed, despite one of the actors was Tracy Ellis Ross is mixed and was playing just a full Black woman, and that was not at all addressed in the show. That was weird. That was a
Yeah.
choice. I want to say that's probably because of colorism within the Black community, as well as probably Kelsey Grammer being an executive producer. Like just those two things combined to have that
Just
really shitty not even subplot, just occurrence, I guess is the word.
yeah, that was her whole
Yeah,
Lynn's whole personality was the divide between being black and
black and
white.
white. It's so bad.
It got
It's
tired.
yeah, it got tired. It was tired then, and it's still tired now.
So tired.
I also refused to hate Tony Childs.
No, I won't do
Um,
it.
I won't do it.
I
First
just
of
won't.
all, she was the prettiest one,
Yeah,
and she knew it,
absolutely. And they knew it too.
and
Like,
they knew
if
it
they
too. Yeah,
they knew it. I will always support a Black woman overspending because
yeah,
that's representation for me.
yeah.
Maxing out credit cards, overdrafts, that's my experience. So I learned from Tony, and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna apologize for that.
I think everyone was a bad friend to Maya.
Terrible friend. It's probably because she had a kid. Like, they
I think
all kinda
so.
looked down on her for that, but also she was, like, the only person that wasn't going to lie to them
Mhm.
about the wrong shit that they were doing. But
I think
yeah,
her and Tony were the ones that were just like, "We're not gonna lie to you."
yeah, we're gonna be honest with you, and Lynn and, Joan were like, "Well, let's consider our feelings, and that's not nice." And it's like, y'all are the fakest to all y'all are so fake. This is ridiculous.
Like, Joan. I don't think I ever saw you do your job once. Like, never once were you doing your lawyer thing. It was all like, "How can I get and keep a man?" Which was, "Oh my god, that's so embarrassing, girl. Get up. Get
Get
up."
stand up on your
Like,
knees, weaken the knees.
I remember
Stand up.
I never forgave her for this, but when she was dating Sean the sex addict, and he was, like, being honest about his feelings and, like, that he was a sex addict, and he invited her to, the triple A for sex addicts, and she, like, walked out. I thought that was so shitty of her,
She was just like she wanted everyone to consider her feelings and
and did yes,
refused to do it.
refused to do the same.
And she blamed Tony for doing that, but when she was the only one that was actually doing that. Like, Tony was just real
Mhm.
about her priorities, and her priorities were Tony.
true. It's true.
So, I don't know, like, I fuck with her being real in that way, but Joan,
Yeah.
like, she would swear up and down that she was this amazing friend when she was absolutely not.
No, she
Not
was
an
not.
amazing friend, not an amazing partner,
Mm-mm.
um, good
Did
lawyer,
she end
we
up in
don't know.
William in the end?
She might have,
Like,
which is
I guess so, even though they had, like, literally no romantic chemistry at any point in the show.
he was just, like, a friend to the whole group, so it's just
Yeah.
weird that they were like, maybe? Let's explore this,"
Also,
and
he
it's
was so obviously homophobic to his, like, lesbian sister. That whole arc, I was like, why was that on television?
why would you say that? That's so
Like
mean.
like,
Why?
why was this on television? If you don't remember, if you're watching this and you don't remember, I believe his sister was a lesbian and asked, like, him to donate sperm so that she could have a biological child with her wife. And he essentially, like, demanded to, like, have custody of the child or something like that, or, like, refused to give up his rights to be a father, and it's just and, like, tore up the contract that he had signed, just like, I wanna be in this child's life as their father." I'm just like, "You can't
You're
do that.
weird. That's weird
That's
behavior.
weird." It's like, "Well, I might
You
not have a kid of my own, so I wanna make sure I have a right to this one." Oh,
Oh, what?
okay. A
Wait,
right to a child?
first of all, go have a baby, like, get a
Yeah,
girlfriend, have a kid. What do you mean I might not be able to?
like,
That's weird.
because he was not a pleasant person to be around,
He knew that about
and he
himself, at
knew
least he was
that.
self-aware. At least he was self-aware. My goodness, that's so fucking weird. But
Yeah,
with all of that in mind, it still was a show that, like, people
yeah,
still talk about to this day for the
it's
storylines,
true.
for the characters. It's not Black excellence because
Oh, absolutely not.
it's
It's
just
not.
built on so many
So
stereotypes
many stereotypes. So many. I
and just
think just the amount of stereotypes it's built on is honestly the baseline for a lot of Black sitcoms in the
mhm.
90s and 20s. So I 20s, 2000s. So I'd put it in B because that's straight up our baseline, which is
Yeah,
really unfortunate, but it's true.
and the thing is, it's like, I agree with B, only
Mhm.
because it still was an enjoyable show, like, if you
Yeah.
like the mess and the drama,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great show, but if
Mhm.
you're like a show that is impactful and meaningful in a good way,
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't go that route.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't give it that much, but for Girlfriends to be, like, the baseline,
It
the
is the
beat,
baseline.
that's still working at a like, you're still working at a level of, like, expertise
Yeah,
that white shows simply don't have to clear,
exactly.
just to get made. So, for that, Girlfriends goes in our B tier. Love you, Tracy Ellis Ross.
I love you, Tracy Ellis Ross.
We'll see you again with Blackish,
That's
which
not gonna feel good.
it's not gonna feel good at all. But going from a show that was kind of rooted in stereotypes to a
Yeah,
show that legitimately had some fantastic relationships, both platonic and romantic, we move on
living single.
to Living Single, which I know Mama has
I
not
still have
seen.
not seen it. But I have seen quite a few clips of it to know that it at the very, very least A tier.
Oh, yeah, I put it as Black excellence,
Okay.
only because it is a show that legitimately
Mhm.
had like, you had the dynamic of all these different friends, and they had these different
Mhm.
personalities, but you
Yeah.
could tell at the end of the day, they still legitimately cared about each
Mhm.
other and loved each other. Can't say that for many of these
That
shows.
is very true. Can't say that for girlfriends.
Cannot
Absolutely
say that
can't.
for Girlfriends, but with Living
Yeah.
Single and also like to have 2 guys in the fold, they don't
Mhm.
overpower the show.
Yeah.
They're like a good mix within it, like, they're good
Yeah.
complements to
And
it.
from what I have seen, it's not like they're there to be irritating, annoying, and misogynistic like William was in Girlfriends.
No,
That was
no,
his sole purpose to be a loser.
no, they are like, Overton and Sinclair are a very wholesome couple that you don't see coming, but then they just work so well together.
Mm,
Because Overton's a little dense, and Sinclair is a little dense, and they just work so well together. They
mhm.
really just that's black love right there. So for me, I think it's black excellence, but
I agree.
I'm willing to
I believe
hear
this
it.
was also created by a Black woman.
I think it was. I do think it was. I'm gonna move this really quick and then I'm gonna look that up. But if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a really, really
Mhm.
fantastic show. Also, Friends stole its premise from Living Single. Thank
Yep.
you and good night. So happy Black History Month. Friends stole their entire premise
Yeah.
from Living Single.
Friends also probably will never truly be on our
Ever,
show unless
ever.
we have like a bad TV episode.
Like worst TV, that's when it'll show up.
Yeah.
But as far as like the best,
Mm.
greatest,
The two shows that will be on absolutely will be on bad TV, the tournament or the ranking bad TV. Um, Friends and Out of Jimmy's Head. I will never shut up about how that is probably one of the worst shows to ever be on Cartoon Network ever.
Momo is so I want
Yeah.
everyone to know that she is so passionate about how awful this show
I
is, and
am
it
so
legitimately was
passionate about it.
terrible, but
Also, Tinashe was a main character in it, which no one believes me, but if you look it up, Tinashe was straight up a main character in the one Cartoon Network's worst show ever.
she's just so talented, and she's just suffered so much,
It was humble
Tinashe.
beginnings, honestly.
Yeah, very humble, the definition
Yeah.
of humble, because that show was
Yeah, and I
bad.
love Cartoon Network. As obviously I'm obsessed with Craig of the Creek, Kids Next Door. I just think that is the worst show ever. I think it's so bad.
But the good thing is, they would also agree with you. They're not gonna
They
be
would
like, "Oh,
agree,
this is a
yeah.
precious show to us." They'd be like, "Yeah, that was ass, and we regret it." Think their
They
whole
were
live
going
action
through
lineup,
like I get it, they were going through a phase. We all go through that.
but
Mhm. Next.
it was bad. Next up, classic Black TV
Mhm.
show, Fresh Prince of Bel Air,
Yeah.
which also the new like
Mhm.
dramatic reimagining. Bel
Yeah.
Air is also on Peacock right now. I have heard that it is okay. So
Yeah. I heard that it's like pretty good, but people absolutely hate this new Carlton, which is valid. It's valid why they hate him. But I just feel like it's unfortunate that they rebooted the show and then like went through the trouble of making him incredibly unlikable when he wasn't unlikable in the original.
no, like, he was kind of unlikable in the very beginning,
Yeah.
like, when Will first moves in and he's, like, very, like, posh or whatever,
Mhm.
but the good part about that character was that it morphed as Will, like, got into the fold and he kind of
Mhm.
taught Carlton to let his
Mellow
guard
out.
down and just mellow out, yeah. So that's upsetting,
Mhm.
but, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think, like, it needs no introduction, it's just a
Yeah.
show that I feel like we've all, like, seen, and if you haven't seen, you've definitely heard the theme song, to it,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I but I don't hold it as precious as I hold other
I would
shows.
agree. I would agree. I mean, I did love Ashley Banks with my whole heart.
Yes,
Style icon.
absolutely. Ashley and Hillary,
Yeah.
just 2
I also think it's
teachers.
hilarious that they're based off of Ashley and Hillary are based off of Quincy Jones's real children.
Oh, yeah, Rashida and
Yeah.
Kadada. That's hilarious. That's real funny.
And when I say that and everyone's just like, "Oh, so like Rashida's Hillary."
That's
I
fun.
think that's really funny how people were just like, "Yep, this checks out."
Yeah, pretty much. Because I
Mhm.
when you look at Rashida and Kadada Jones, definitely on
There's a
different
difference.
sides of things. Like, Rashida Jones definitely like, if you didn't know that her dad was Quincy Jones,
Mhm.
I think some people might think that she was a white woman with a tan.
I don't think they think she's white with a tan. I think they would think that she is like a like racially ambiguous in the way that like not just like half black, half white people are typically racially ambiguous.
That's true. That is true.
They probably
But
would be like, "Oh, like maybe you're Puerto Rican or something."
Yeah, like, they would just kind of just like, "Oh, you're this," and she was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, whatever." Um, but then Kadada Jones, the one thing I know about her, apparently she's like a fashion designer.
Mhm.
She was like best friends with Aaliyah, like
Oh,
pretty fast,
cool.
like that was her best friend. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
Yeah.
Fresh Prince. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a show that I watched. It's a show that I enjoyed. Am I turning it on to watch it now? No.
I think I'd put it in, like, A or B.
I put it in A.
Oh,
Just
yeah. For Ashley Banks alone, A.
oh yeah, the
Yeah.
wardrobe, the costuming alone gets in an A, and the theme song.
Yeah.
Everything else, the whole situation with Aunt Viv,
That was a bummer, but
yeah,
also, like, very on brand for Black sitcoms in the early 2000s, 90s.
yeah, they were like, "Oh, you have a dark-skinned mom?" Yeah. No, you
That's
don't.
gotta change. That's gotta go.
That's we gotta let's get her
Yeah.
out of here. Uh, but yeah,
Like,
I would agree. Like A
yeah.
tier.
And I think, like, one last thing I wanna say about Bel Air, the reboot, is that
Mhm.
it's really disheartening to have, like, Carlton, who was, like, the quirky Black kid representation back in the day, be, like, morphed into just, like, this terrible sellout of a character that, like, would prefer to be seen as white than Black, essentially. I think that's really shitty
That
considering
is
that, like, his whole character was being, like, quirky, and then they'd made his character that he just wanted to be white. It's like, well,
yeah.
that's no, like, that's wrong.
Like, Carlton, they all knew that they were Black.
Yeah.
They were just Black and rich, so obviously that
Yeah.
experience is gonna be different, but to
Mhm.
make it I guess, like, if you're gonna do a dramatic retelling, you have to have a reason why a character is the way that they are.
Yeah. I just think it's unfortunate. I feel like it's counterintuitive, honestly.
It really is counterintuitive. Hopefully, Carlton in Bel Air gets this big, redemption arc, maybe?
We'll
I don't know.
see. Only time will tell.
I probably will not be watching. So,
I
anyways,
also
the
am not just gonna get Peacock to watch this one show.
I have Peacock. I don't know if I will be turning it on to watch Bel Air because dramatic retelling is the easiest way to get me to not watch something.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest, I agree. Like, I don't want a dramatic retelling. I want a musical version.
I want a comedy, like,
I want a
I wanna laugh, I wanna enjoy, like
like, give me a musical version of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
ev
An animated musical version.
now that would be something, because like, in this day and age, if something is, like, deemed a drama to me,
Yeah,
in my head, I want drama as in messy, I don't want drama as in serious.
true.
So,
I think this is supposed to be messy and serious, and I don't think those 2 really go together.
no, it's either gotta be messy drama, like Big Little Lies,
Mhm.
that's messy white woman drama, I gobble it up. But, like, other shows that just do straight drama, I'm not a big fan of it.
Agreed.
Next up, we have classic.
The Proud Family.
It has
Like,
its issues.
it has a lot of issues. So many issues.
The difficult part
Mhm.
about doing this episode or, like,
Mhm.
finding shows for this episode was I was like, "Ah, like, that show is a classic," but then you have to remember, it's like, it was a classic because it was, like
All we had.
it was all we had. We had to really just dig our teeth into it because it was all we
It's all
had.
we had. It's like if your favorite black cartoon prior to, like, Craig at the Creek, like, really, your only option was The Proud Family. There wasn't much else.
No, you had, like, Black characters in
Yeah,
shows, but
but
there
you
were
didn't
not
have, like, a black main character, the story revolved around them.
no, that wasn't steeped in
Unless you wanna count Codename Kids Next Door, which I do, and
and I
apparently
don't.
HBO Max also does count,
I'm not
but we
getting
won't
into
get into
this.
that because I
Yeah.
know, unfortunately, it's not on this list, even
Hell
though it should
no.
be.
Hell no, it's not. It's not. So
Black excellence. We love our albino Nigerian king, Nigel, you know.
he's Algerian now. Did you say Algerian or Nigerian?
Nigerian.
When did you add Nigerian?
Have because his name is Nigel.
Okay.
Thank you. A Proud Family, you know, it's a 2000s black sitcom. You've got to have the light skinned wife, the light skinned daughter. Actually, all the women have to be light skinned because God forbid a dark skinned black woman exists.
Yeah, like, I guess Sugar Mama is, like, the closest, but even
Look at
then
that picture right there. She is essentially like a shade separating her from like the wife, can't remember her name, and Penny,
Trudy, I think.
Trudy. Like she is
Um,
a shade different from them.
that's what I'm saying, like, she's the closest, and even then, she's not that close, like,
Even then,
it's
she's the color of a paper bag.
she does pass the paperback test, that
Yeah.
is very true. That is very
But
true.
you know, the only reason you know which one of the twins is a girl is because the girl is not going to be dark skinned.
No, BB and CC. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's been a hard road being a dark-skinned woman who loves animation.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot, and we've gotten so little
Yeah.
in
This show
return.
was not for us in mind.
It
It was
wasn't,
not.
but it was truly all we had, and
It's true.
we had to
The
latch on to it for that simple fact alone.
the only dark skinned women in the show were Dejanay, who was literally portrayed as the girl that absolutely nobody would even like spit on.
Mm-mm.
Um, or the Gross sisters, who were so black they were blue, and they were all bad.
I saw a clip that it was like the reason that they're blue is because they're ashy, not
Yeah,
because they're so black. It's so that's not better.
that's
Both
not
of them
better.
equally bad.
Because, like, I feel like it was a cop out from when they were called out for being, like, so black they were blue. Because that's, like, a saying in the black community, "You're so black, you're blue," and then they have,
Yeah,
coincidentally, 4 black girls that are blue, and they're just like, "Oh, no, they're not blue because they're so black, they're blue. They're blue because
they're
they need
they're
lotion."
ashy. That's
Then why
not
aren't they
better.
gray?
Yeah, make them gray, not blue. It's bad. I think they kind of definitely took advantage of the whole like, like black girls with attitude. Like every dark
Yeah,
skinned girl had an attitude. Dejanay in specific, like especially, the
mhm,
whole unrequited love thing with Dejanay and Sticky.
mhm. Sticky was not a catch. Absolutely
No,
not.
I don't know why Dejanay liked him so much because he definitely did not like her.
I don't think
Eh,
he's even in the reboot, is he?
he might not
Not
be.
voiced by Orlando Brown or
No,
Bloom?
no,
Brown.
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 Bloom is the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't think that Sticky's in the reboot, but
I
I would
hope
have to
not. Like, he was not needed.
he was just like they were like, "We need a guy."
Exactly.
So,
Tell me one thing about Sticky's personality that was not he didn't like Dejanay.
he
Exactly.
he
Exactly.
was a DJ. That was it. He had a cool little, like, game on DisneyChannel.com where you, like, match that's all I got on Sticky. I mean,
Yeah.
it was either if you liked animation,
Mhm.
this was literally all we had
Yeah.
other than That's a Raven. Like,
I agree. But That's a Raven was like leaps and bounds better than the Proud Family.
way better.
Would
I
I would put the Proud Family B.
I would also put it as B. We've built
Mhm.
upon that model.
Yeah.
Like, it was
We
good to
have.
have a Black family, but this is where we
Yeah.
had to start.
Like,
So,
they had their moments with, like, the Islam episode, what other episode did they have? The
Kwanzaa,
Kwanzaa episode, but, like, you can't make something Black excellence for having 2 good episodes.
2 good episodes
And
that
the
were probably,
movie
like,
the best part of the movie was the dance break, and you can't make it Black excellence for having an amazing dance break and 2 good episodes.
a dance break with some legumes, and that's it. That's all we got.
I Are peanuts weren't they peanuts?
I think they were like, aren't peanuts and legumes, like, the same
I don't
thing?
think so. I think legumes are beans.
They're in, like, the same family.
Are you sure about that? I feel like that's not true.
I am looking it up because I thought they
Yeah.
made it a big deal that they were legumes
I
and
thought
not
it was a big
peanuts.
deal that they were peanuts. Or is
They
that
might
just
have
because of
been.
their head shape?
You know what? It was Legume Island.
Oh, okay, maybe you're right, and I just don't know, like, my food groups in that in depth.
I think they were it was something like it's like legumes and peanuts are, like, in the same family, but not
Okay.
close to each
Okay,
other.
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think they were peanuts, but They were leggings.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't realize the Proud Family movie is on Hulu, so I might be revisiting that at
Also,
some
I just
point.
remembered the, like, super not okay, super fat phobic episode where Sugar Mama got fat, then she was pretty. Not fat, she got thin and she was pretty.
Yeah, like, Poppy actually liked her, like,
Yeah.
started liking her.
And then as soon as she had a piece of cake, she was big again and no one would even look at her that way. I thought that was so shitty.
That was so fucked up. That was so fucked up. Um, I will say one of my favorite episodes of The Proud Family
Mhm.
was when Sugar Mama, like, started making I think they were, like, lemon bars or something like
Oh,
that?
yeah, and she put
Like
her whole actual foot in it.
yeah,
That was good.
like, building off of that,
Mhm.
like, the saying, like, "Oh, you put your foot in this,"
Yeah.
like
That's why I don't buy the whole, like, "Oh, they weren't blue because they were so black, they were blue. They were blue because they were ash." You're lying to me. You're straight up lying to me. The way that you had so many black sayings in your show and you want me to buy that lie?
no, no,
Mm-mm.
just walking it back,
Try
walking
Jesus,
it
not me.
back. Oh god. Okay, so Proud Family at B.
B.
Let's hope I have good hopes for the reboot that they will maybe
I
right the
really think
wrong.
they will redeem themselves with the reboot.
I think they will too. I have high hopes
Yeah.
for it. So we will
I
see.
You know what I predict? I predict people will be really mad at the reboot for changing so many things, even though they'd be changing the things that were bad.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Well, why is Dejanay like this now?" It's like, yeah, she was the only dark skinned character we had, and I think they should improve her. Like,
Yeah.
I think she should be a better friend, and I think that they should be way less fat phobic to her. But you know what? I'm
Mhm.
a dreamer. What can I say? So, I don't know. I have high hopes. Moving on from one animated black show to another for with a very different
Oh
audience in
my
mind.
god, the Boondocks.
The Boondocks. I still have not seen many full episodes, but I
Regina
have seen
King.
many a clip.
This is the right Regina, right? Regina King?
Yeah, Regina King, not Regina
Okay.
Hall, that's the other one.
The people with the same names, they fuck me up so bad.
It's so
Um,
hard. It's so hard. I know, it's so
Regina
challenging.
King, I wanna put it in Black Excellence just for her. I think it's a
Yes.
really intelligent, like, satire. I just don't think people truly understand satire.
That is the issue. The issue was
Yeah,
never the show, it was
yeah,
people and their understanding of the
of the
show.
show.
I wholeheartedly agree. Honestly, anything Regina King does, I assume it's excellent right off the bat, so I will
Like,
happily put it in Black
I
excellence.
think people say that, like, Rick and Morty is, like, a really good satire. I
It's
actually
not.
don't think it's a good satire at all. I think it's a
I
really bad satire. I think The Boondocks is a really good one, and it's easily misinterpreted.
I gave Rick and Morty a try.
Mhm.
God help me, I was lost. And it's not like I don't like adult animation, so that's why I didn't like it. I
Mhm.
love adult animation. Like, I'm not a big Family Guy or American Dad fan, but even I can find, like, some funny moments in those shows. Rick and Morty because the thing is, the only people that are this about Rick and Morty,
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, you have to be, like, high to understand." It's like, I if I need something to understand this
Yeah.
show, like, if I have to get something to understand I'm not watching this. I'm not watching this. Also, the star, like, as their pupils was so distracting to me, and so I was like, "I fuck this. Fuck this show." I just don't like Rick and Morty, but if you do, I assume that you're still a good person. I just it's not for me,
It
but
depends
that's
on who you are if I think you're a good person if you like Rick and Morty.
yeah, like, I need to
Yeah.
see your other television taste,
Mhm.
and then we will go from there. If you
Yeah.
like only other shitty shows, then
Yeah.
I'm like, "The problem is you."
Like, I think The Boondocks is honestly Black excellence, just how
Mhm.
even you see some of the things through Huey, the main character's eyes. When they did the Obama episode, I was like, "Oh, okay, like, I understand where this little kid's coming from, where this little dude's coming from." Because everyone and their mama around him was so, like, excited for Obama to be president, but he was the only one that was just like, "I feel like it doesn't mean anything." Like, he's still basically as conservative as all the other presidents we've had, but everyone else is just so focused on that he was black.
Mhm.
And that's, like, not really a viewpoint you saw, like, on
Especially around that
TV at that
time.
time.
No, no, I think it was a show that really
Mhm.
kind of I don't wanna say challenged the Black community, but it kinda
It did.
did.
It did.
Like, it really did, it challenged and I think those who think that they were playing it straight
Mhm.
are, like, kind of
They're
the
not
reason
getting it.
you're not understanding kind of, like,
Mm-mm.
what the show is trying to do, and I agree, I think so many people, not just people, like, who watch the show,
Yeah.
but so many people have a legitimate misunderstanding of
Mhm.
satire. Also, a lot of people think if a joke is, like, trying to be like, if a joke is legitimately offensive, then they can just use, "Oh, it's satire," as the defense, and it's
Yeah.
like, "No, it's a poorly written joke, and it's shitty."
Exactly.
It's not the same thing. This is a good example of good
This is the
satire.
gold standard for satires. Rick and Morty does not meet this standard.
Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not.
But Black
Um,
excellence for the Boondocks. Also, I
a
really liked how um, they really like the theme song, amazing. But like the theme song sequence with like I think they were like ninjas or like samurais or something. I don't understand what that was about, but I get the. I think it was supposed to be like a mesh of like Asian and um like black cultures, but I didn't get it because I'm pretty sure like the executive producer was Korean. I don't understand why they used a lot of like Japanese imagery,
I mean, I think when the show was coming out, it kind of was coinciding with
like
the
Samurai Jack
rise
and such.
yeah, the rise of, like, hamburger anime, which is just basically, like, American-inspired anime.
Mhm.
So I think that was probably a lot of what it was.
Yeah.
Also, I think it is clever, the animation style of the show,
Yeah.
for a lot of people, like, anime wasn't as widely accepted in
Mhm.
the Black community as it is now
I agree.
when the show was out, and I think this show definitely kind of helped to kind of
Yeah.
push people, like, to accepting anime as, like, a thing that a lot of Black people really enjoy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
I just
think
thought that was strange because 'cause I'm like, I thought the producer was Korean.
they were just like, "No one's
Why
gonna
all the Japanese imagery? But okay.
there's no one's gonna know. It's fine.
It's like, how are they gonna know? It's like, they're gonna know.
You're gonna know. We're gonna know."
I mean,
Boondocks,
I
amazing.
enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, but I was just like, that's something.
You question.
Yeah,
You had
I had questions.
and the show was built on having questions. You
Yeah,
were inquisitive, and that's what
exactly.
matters. I still do need to like, it's definitely on at the top of shows that I absolutely need
Yeah,
to watch. I just
but
haven't
Black
done it.
excellence for sure.
Absolutely.
I love you,
Moving
Regina King.
love you, Regina King. Hearts are with you right now.
Mhm.
Really. Hearts are with you. Love you. Next up. This might be our first This Is for White People show. Next up, we have Dear White Dear White People. It is a show based on the film Dear White People on Netflix. Famously, I think it's the 4th season, they decided to
Yeah.
just pivot from this being kind of like a dramedy to a full-on musical.
And as someone that loves musicals, I think that was one of the worst ideas I have ever heard and seen executed ever. Like, this is out of Jimmy's head level bad.
It is awful. It is terrible. I when I was watching it, it was something about the main character, Logan, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Um, she, in a word, was just so annoying.
What I didn't
So
understand about her, I was just like, "Aren't you very clearly biracial?
yeah.
And what is the whole, like, hubbub of you dating a white man?" I'm sure that you're obviously half white. It's not, like, out of the question you would ever date a white person.
Yeah, the interest is there. So, I didn't get it either.
I didn't
Also,
get that.
they essentially, like, shelved, fridged her, dark-skinned black friend like, best friend who was a lot more interesting than her to
Oh, she
me.
died?
No, not fridged her, but, like,
Oh, put her on, like, the shelf and, like, completely didn't do anything with her character? What was her name, Joelle?
I think so? Like, they gave her crumbs of
A
character
story.
development,
Yeah.
and then when people were like, "Oh, we want more," they were like, "No.
No.
Oh, what the hell?
I feel
No."
like this was, like, the tail end of the, like, light-skinned daughter main character love interest thing, and they just kind of they went out with a bang for sure.
They said no more. No more. None of this.
Went out with quite the bang. Absolutely, this is for white people.
For sure. Dear white people, this is for you.
Yeah,
This is a show for you. It is like when people like now for some reason, I guess like Slave Play is like on tour or something, so a lot of people are seeing it, and it's just so funny seeing the discourse of black people being like, "What the fuck is this?" And a lot of white people being like, "Oh, it's so good and like it's really challenging and everything." And I know that they're saying that because they want to get like
I don't know, brownie
woke
points.
points. I don't know. It just it's this that feels like this show when white people are like, "I loved your white people." I'm like, "What do you like about it?"
I think I got halfway through the first season. I was like, I'll come back to this, and I never did.
I think I might have watched season like 1 and 2, and I appreciated where we were going with it. And then when I think something happened and I was like, "Okay, I'm not coming back to this. Like I don't care that much." And then I just never did.
Like,
So
I think that was such a bad idea, and that this is from someone that loves musicals. The music, no.
they
Like,
really said we're out of ideas.
I get a musical episode. I think every show should have a musical episode. I don't think your whole premise should change in the final season to just be a musical.
I also do not think that either. Um, but they were like, we've run out of ideas for this show. Someone who doesn't care about the show at
This
all.
has the whole, like, J.C. Penney fair and square prices, no more coupons vibes to it.
That's a very niche thing,
That
but
like, I'm saying it because that I remember it so clearly that that was the death of J.C. Penney when they decided, "We're no longer gonna have coupons, we're just gonna have fair and square prices," and the fair and square prices were just, like, expensive.
and then people were like, "Okay, so I'm not going to Pennies anymore."
Exactly. It's like, we're gonna absolutely destroy our own show for no reason at all.
Mhm.
This is for white people. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear white people. We will not miss you. Next up, we have a comedy that I did not like. It wasn't until I got to like doing this list that I was like, "Oh shit, I really enjoyed the Bernie Mac
I did
show."
like the Bernie Mac show.
It was so good. Like, the formatting of it, if you don't know, it's just basically like a it's almost like kind of a George Lopez, like, Jamie Foxx show. It's just like a comedian and his family
Mhm.
getting into weird things, but the interesting thing about the Bernie Mac show is that they would break the fourth wall, and Bernie Mac would do, like, a direct to camera talking to the audience as things were unfolding. So,
I remember that. I don't think I remember it enough to put it in Black Excellence, but I remember it fondly enough to put it in A.
I absolutely would put it in a other like, for the sole fact of one of the daughters, they kept her dark skin. So, we love to see it.
I think
Like,
she's the daughter, the girl in yeah, the daughter in Are You There Yet? I really wanna say yeah. The movie,
I
not the TV show.
oh, the TV show?
Not the TV like, the movie Are You There Yet? Are We There Yet?
I I don't think the oldest daughter, like the teenage one?
I don't think so. I think it was the youngest one, the one that sang RESPECT, and we thought she was really good, but
And
yeah, not.
she did not eat. Dee Dee Davis. No, that's not the same girl.
No,
Yeah.
and
No, she was in House for 8 years. She had a recurring role in House.
really? I don't remember that.
I don't know who she played, but she played somebody, but yeah. Yeah. That wasn't her.
No? Okay, that's fine.
But the son, Jeremy Suarez, which I didn't know that was his last name, um, he was, the little bear in Brother Bear.
Oh!
Mhm.
I feel like I knew that, like, a long time ago I knew that, but I
And
forgot that information.
they definitely, like, made a big deal because he sang the song, like, "Tell everybody I'm on my way." So good for him, and he was in
For him.
Brother Bear too and has done a bunch of other stuff, but no, I think the Bernie Mac show, it's like a show that I think people forget about, but then they remember that they
Yeah,
really enjoyed it when they took a second to think about it.
yeah.
So, I agree. I think A. Perfect perfect place for it. because I too cannot tell you one singular thing that
I
happened.
don't remember. I do remember enjoying it though.
Yeah, and that is enough for it to
R.I.P.
be
Mac.
RIP. I remember the day that he died. It was a big moment for me because I was so sad. And also I think one of his last roles ever was in Madagascar 2,
That makes
Escape to Africa.
that makes sense.
So he went out with a bang, I would say. Madagascar 2. What's next? Oh, another classic from the 90s. Or, well, Bernie Mac show was from the 2000s, but you get what I'm saying.
Oh, Keenan and Kel.
Keenan and Kel. Again, another show that I don't remember a singular episode,
I don't.
but I do remember like Kel loving orange soda
Yeah.
and the theme song was fucking.
How did it go again? Remind me.
I was like, oh, here we go. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun,
yeah.
dun. Coolio was in it. Yeah. I was having Keenan and Kel.
I don't think I remember the show enough to be able to rate it, so it's really all you on this one.
I give it so there's a couple reasons why I would put it in A. I don't think it's black excellence because it's not very memorable. Like the episodes themselves, like they weren't memorable,
Mhm.
but
The
Keenan Thompson,
vibes. The vibes.
the vibes, but Keenan Thompson is a person who I don't think we give enough flowers to
Mm.
because he's been around
A
in
long
like the comedy space for so long. Like he started in all of that and was on there for a long time and then jumped to like doing Keenan and Kel and then from there jumped to being the longest tenured member on SNL still. Um he's just a person who's just always kind of been around and has always been consistently funny. So I think for that like alone and also Keenan and Kel for the time were kind of revolutionary in that they were like two black boys in comedy who were legitimately funny, like on a kid show and like able to ascend from all that to having their own show, which is a big deal. So I would put them in
deal.
A. I'd put them in A.
Okay.
They
I have a
they they
question. There are
yeah.
2 shows I don't think are gonna be on here, and I wanna know if they are.
Okay.
Is Just Jordan on this list?
Jess Jordan is not on this list.
Is the
Why
Romeo Show on this list?
no? Both of those shows are not on this list. Um, we can at the end, we can add them if you wanna put them in
No,
spirit.
like, I guess maybe we'll see how I feel, but, like, I remember those shows. I don't think anyone else does, but they were black sitcoms on Nickelodeon.
They were Nickelodeon was really trying to be for the people, because that's like 3 shows le and Cousin Skeeter, which I guess if you count he's a puppet, but still,
And there was How to Rock, who was, led by Symphonique Miller.
and True Jackson VP.
Andrew Jackson VP, so Nickelodeon was really for black people.
They were for the people. They still are because they have,
Is
like,
True
that
Jackson
show,
even
it's
on
like
this list?
which one?
True Jackson?
No, I didn't think about it. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it.
Okay.
I think because
That's
we put
fine.
it in theme songs, I was, like, not thinking about it. But, of course, True Jackson will be in Black Excellence, so we already know. You know what I mean? I forgot, where was I putting Keenan and Kel? In A,
Oh,
yeah. Fantastic show. Wonderful show. Well, wonderful people in the show. The show itself is okay. Alright. So next up, we already know where this is going because we've put it in every top tier that it's ever appeared in.
I don't remember what show this is gonna be.
It's
Okay.
animated.
It's animated and it's a black. I literally don't know. Oh my god! Class of 3006.
I mean, we've talked about this show a ton, so
have we have
it's just so good.
like,
It's
first of
so
all, this
good.
is if you look at the poster itself, you're just like, "This is Bobby vibes," because
Mhm.
just the fluidity of the animation, like, matches, like, the fluidity of your, like, the font you use for, um, like, the afternoon
You
special. It's like the
You're right.
70s, like, bubble letters type thing.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Bestie, you're so right.
This
Also,
perfection.
it is sheer perfection. I've talked about this before, but I felt like when I was younger, the show was made for me because it takes place in Atlanta, which is one of very few shows that take place in Atlanta. Created and stars Andre Benjamin, aka Andre 3000. Outcast is one of my favorite groups of all time. It's animated, it has music in it. I was convinced. I was like, they made this show for me. All they need to do is cast me in it, and then they canceled it before I got the chance to. But what more can be said about this show?
The show is Black excellence at its finest,
That
and
is
Cartoon
absolutely true.
Network, please put this on HBO Max.
Please.
Please. This is one of the best shows you've ever made.
Seriously.
If they
Like,
ever thought to put Out of Jimmy's Head on streaming before Class of 3000, that'd be pulling a Tiger Cruise.
it re don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Because every time I get the hankering to be like, I want to go hang out with my friends, Laura, Carver, Tish, and Tino, the Weekenders. I have to watch bootlegs on YouTube like a heathen, but I can go and watch Tiger Cruise in HD. They're sick for that. They're sick and
I
sinister.
feel like I should tweet at Disney Plus every day. Please put Weekenders on streaming. And
I promise you, there's probably already someone who does that.
I doubt it. If I'm sure there, I could like probably set up a bot to do that, but then they could just block me.
I just in this show and The Weekenders, they both need to be on there. But this show and I'm sure it's like maybe like a rights issue or something. Either
Andre
way.
3000, give up the rights to Class of 3000 so I can watch it on HBO Max, please and thank you.
Please, I saw you in that Squarespace ad when Zendaya. I see that you're kind of, you're getting back into the swing of things. That's great. Give us Class of 3000.
Please.
Please. I beg. Because it's the thing is it's not even like bootlegs of it exist on YouTube. If they do, they are the crunchiest looking bootlegs I've ever seen. The quality is not even HD. It's standard definition. It
It's
is
not even. It's
ass.
probably like 144p.
Probably. Please, just give us the show. Let the children have something. They're starving for good content.
Like if you put this on streaming, we get a reboot by the end of the year.
Oh, we absolutely do. We absolutely everyone's like, I can't believe that this show was so good. And then us, the fucking masterminds that we are, will be like, we've been talking about this for
Like every
months.
single time we can put it on like an episode, it's there.
It's there. Like whether it's the tournament, it easily ascends to the
Exactly.
top four. The ranking easily in like the top tier that we can do. It's that good of a show.
Network, give us a podcast and you can get the show on the air.
We could single-handedly bring this show back
You
for
could
the
bring
masses.
this, Hi Puffy Amiyumi, Sam Register,
We know you're a fan.
we know you're a fan. You can reach us at 555-0121. No, you can't.
You could seriously reach us though. We both have cards that have our contact information. Please give us a podcast. Thank you so much. Love you.
But yeah, Black excellence for Class of 3000. There is not. I have no notes, no critiques. Absolutely perfect TV show. No notes.
The standard of excellence. Absolutely.
I just
I
want to
do.
point out that 3 shows that operated on Cartoon Network are in Black excellence.
Yes. I was going to say, I appreciate that 3 out of 4 shows in Black excellence are all animated. I do because that is quintessential us. So pat on the back for us. Next up, we have an HBO classic,
Insecure.
Insecure. Started out as a web series. You haven't watched it?
Finished it.
I haven't finished it.
I still am on episode 1, but I just have a lot of stuff going on, so I'm not going to finish anytime soon.
It's a good show. It's definitely like I haven't finished it either, so I don't know how it ends.
Did I say seasons?
I'm on episode 1. I'm hoping to finish one day. But no, Insecure is just like I will put it in either A or Black Excellence for Issa Rae alone.
I think Black Excellence it is.
I agree. It just Issa Rae started out doing a web series, Awkward Black Girl, and it now bloomed into this beautiful show um that really is a good embodiment of like the awkward black girl pretty much.
I
Like
agree.
I don't know, like also Issa, please hire both of us.
Yeah.
Please. I beg.
Yo Max, give us a podcast, please. Sam Register,
Please.
you know where to find us.
Any Warner Media property, we are available. We are SAG-AFTRA eligible. So please give us a
You,
podcast.
you.
But no, like Insecure, I think it was kind of like how Euphoria is now, where it was like it was must see television and people would like tweet it week to week and talk about everything that was going on. Um, I don't know, it was destination television and Issa Rae being a a black woman who was the showrunner, the creative voice behind it, and it was actually like legitimately good and not steeped in stereotypes, and she was dark skinned. I mean, I'm not hearing any negatives. So
Black Excellence it is.
Black excellence it is.
Love a
Once
black
again.
woman to infinity and infinity.
Infinity.
Oh, sorry.
This is really like most of these shows, I was like, where can I praise a black woman? Where can I do that? So that's what the majority of these shows are. Okay, next up, we're really filling in Black excellence, which love to see it.
Yeah.
Next up, I don't know where the show is gonna fall because I don't think we've ever talked about it before.
Oh, Family Matters. I don't think we have. This might be its first appearance. So welcome, Family Matters.
Nice to see you, Urkel. Welcome.
Mhm. I don't know. I don't think
I
I really tuned in to watch this show that often.
It was a show that, like, it was on Nick at Night with, like, George Lopez and the nanny,
Mhm.
but I definitely kind of just, like, remember I remember liking it, but I didn't like it more than those other 2 shows. Um,
I think it probably came on at a time I was watching something else because I remember catching the other 2 shows you just mentioned, George Lopez and which other one?
the nanny.
And The Nanny, but I didn't catch this.
Yeah, so for a couple of years, like, during the summer, you would know that the Nick at Night, like, programming block would start because Family Matters would be the first one up, but it would
I
be,
think
like, at,
yeah,
like,
it must have
6.
been the first one, and I was watching, like, something on Disney Channel at that time.
Yeah, yeah. So, it was, like, not a show I don't think it's super duper memorable beyond Urkel,
Fair
like,
enough.
as a character.
It
I'm not
I have to agree because I remember Urkel and Lisa, and I don't remember anyone else.
yeah, I the rest of the family kinda not really much character development going on beyond them. I would either put it in, like, B or C,
I think
like
I have to go and see because we only remember 2 of the characters.
yeah, and one of them was kind of, like, remember because he was a kind of a caricature, but also a subversion. I think that's why Urkel was
Urkel at the
successful.
time was a subversion of, like, the black male trope.
Yeah, like, he was, like, nerdy and, like, couldn't get the ladies, and then they invented Stefan, I don't know why, but
He was a subversion of the trope, which worked until it didn't.
yeah, until it didn't. I do remember his girlfriend, Myra. I
I
remember
don't
liking her. It was, like, towards the end of the series
okay.
where Stefan would, like, show up a lot more, and so Stefan had a thing with, what's her name? Rachel?
The daughter?
Yeah,
Her name was Lisa.
I think it's Rachel.
Maybe it was Rachel. I thought it was Lisa, I don't know why.
But he was starting to have a thing, like, with Rachel, but then Urkel would have no, it was Laura, so both of us were wrong.
Wow. I mean, I got the L.
You got the L, and I got the L because I could not remember her name. No, Stefan was starting to have a thing with Laura, and then, like, Urkel was starting to have a thing with Myra, and Myra was, like, kinda, like, crazy, and she was, like, quirky too, um They tried. An attempt was made. I think they were trying to kind of match where the other TGIF shows were heading, like, where, like, Boy Meets World and Sabrina were heading around that time, but,
I think it does have to go and see.
it has to. It just good show, just wasn't memorable. Nothing really there. Still love you, Urkel, but, alright, next up is a show I don't know if we this show has definitely not appeared on a list, so I don't know your
Let me think.
thoughts on it, but I do have fond memories of it, because my mom really loves this show.
Oh, Martin.
Martin, I'm the man. So, thoughts on Martin, Momo? Any thoughts?
I think it did the whole like light skin love interest, mean dark skin best friend trope. So for that, I put it in B because like
Yeah.
that's so it's just like the baseline for like sick black sitcoms back in the day.
I would have to agree. I think it was, like it had a lot of funny moments, but they kind of like, I've just seen people try and say that, like, Shanae as a character was a little bit more progressive than she may seem, like, on the surface, but it was still kind of a caricature of Black women at the time. So I don't know if it was as subversive as they were thinking, but I agree. It does, like, the light skin better, dark skin mean
Mm.
thing. So I'm like, but funny moments. Funny
The
moments. Good gowns, but that's beyond that, I've got nothing. Uh, I simply don't have any more thoughts on this show. So, B for Martin. Had its moments, but, not really A and definitely not Black
Oh, for
excellence.
sure. I mean, if anything, it would go and C.
Could go and see, but I think for the sake of us not getting absolutely torn to shreds, B is a good place.
Okay.
Middle of the road. Next, oh boy. Next up we have
Oh no, what could it be? Oh.
we've got Blackish.
Okay, this it's a show I just simply don't understand what was going on. I just don't understand because there was that whole like storyline where they were getting divorced, and then the next time I tuned in, they were no longer getting divorced, and I was like, okay, like what happened? What happened? How did we wrap up that storyline? Because that's a big decision for someone to move out the house, get their apartment. You make moves, get divorced, and then like everything's hunky dory next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they were trying to do like the trying to do episodics, but also trying to do serials, and it just
Yeah.
wasn't
Like,
working.
I was confused because I'm like, "I thought this was, like, an episodic show," and then they tried to be serialized, and then that didn't work because who tunes in every week to Blackish?
Some people do. Dare I say, some white people do. um,
The only person I really absolutely adore in the show is Diane.
yeah,
I
but
think that character is gold.
everybody else,
Like, the poor what's his I don't even know the real person's name, Marcus Schreibner was in, like, what is understood as, like, the worst Pixar movie, The Good Dinosaur.
oh,
But poor kid. Poor
if he thought he's like, "This is gonna be my moment. I'm about to break out."
I am so sorry, Marcus. I've never seen the movie. I don't think it's nearly as bad as people say it is.
It's just when Pixar knocks it out of the fucking park every single time they have a release. And then they put something out that is in theory better than other things,
Yeah.
but not as good as like Incredibles and Monsters Inc. and everything. It's gonna be seen as terrible.
I don't think it was that bad. I haven't seen it, but I doubt it was that bad. Was it
It
just
couldn't have been.
before time? That's like a hard thing to like beat because it's the land before time, and like also Ice Age is there too. That's hard.
I just think it was something that, like, people weren't
I
I don't
don't.
think it was bad. It just people I don't think people cared, and that's bad, which nah.
Not
But
his fault. I'm so sorry you were a part of that, though. I'm sure you had a great time, and you
you
were
gotta
like
go
a
back.
straight up child when you did it.
Yeah. But, it's never too late.
I
It's
do love
never
Ellis Ross though.
I do too.
And
I
Marcia
just like her I just like her name was Rainbow. I don't know. I just like that as a name that a character can have.
I mean, at least
Uh,
this time she is playing a mixed black woman.
yeah. So, it's good for her living in her truth. I love my girl Yara Shahidi, my mutual on TikTok.
Your mutuals with Yara Shahidi and you didn't tell me?
How was I supposed to bring that up in conversation?
You don't. You start the conversation with "I'm mutuals with Yara Shahidi."
Oh, well, we're mutuals. Love you, Yara.
I can't believe you
Um,
told me this. I'm finding out the same time y'all are finding out. Actually, no, I'm finding out like a couple days in advance, but still.
so it's not that bad. You still know before a lot of other people. But Blackish as a
Hold on. No, we
collect
can't just speed past this. When did this happen?
it I don't know when she started following me. I have no idea. Just one night I was like going through famous people and who they follow,
Mhm.
and then like every once in a while I would like see myself and I'm like, and so one day I was just going through my followings list, or like people who follow me,
Mhm.
and I saw like Yara Shahidi and it had like follow back on it. And I was like, Yara, Yara, you should have said something coming into my house. You entered my house
I
unannounced.
can't believe you, Bobby.
So I am not privy to speak ill of Blackish or later on Grownish, even though I have thoughts. But it's my mutual. We've never talked, so it's not like we're friends. But
I hope you don't see this, Yara. I'm so sorry. No, I
I
can't. I can't say that because then someone's gonna clip it, and then she's at her, and she's absolutely gonna see it. Um,
I
I love Marseille Martin, um, Tracy Ellis Ross so much, so much. I could not possibly put them in the red zone.
it just it's the
I've seen, see, okay, see.
see. I think C is good. C is good. Because I can't put it there, even though
Even though
I want to for
in
some reason.
theory, I
I
believe
just
most of the audience, I think, what did they say? 80% of the audience is white
so in practice, it is for
in the
white
red
people,
zone.
but black women, the power of black women pulled it up out of the red zone into C.
Yeah.
Ah, that was hard. Oh gosh, that was painful. But I just know that so
I
many.
also, oh, I didn't say I love Yara Shahidi, but I do love you as well. I don't know. I'm going to stop talking.
We're just we're panicking because
Yeah.
we're not thinking about us right now. We're thinking about our careers down the line. It's like I just love a black woman from infinity to infinity.
I just hate
Okay.
the character of Andre. I just don't think he's relatable or likable really much at all. But I think Diane is what kept me watching.
It's what kept you going.
Yeah.
Um, so getting off of the Blackish train, for just a little bit because we're going to come right back around to it.
Mixed dish isn't on this list.
Grownish is on this
I said
list.
mixed dish.
Oh no, mixed decision not on this list.
A different world. I can't really speak much for this show. I haven't seen it, but we know our girl,
Crease
Summers, the voice of every black cartoon character, every black girl cartoon character, literally ever.
Literally ever. It's if you've seen a black
Yeah,
woman in animation, it is probably Cree
Cree
Summer. So, once again,
Black
black
X.
women. Black excellence for that alone, but also for the fact that the show is legitimately good. And, didn't know this, Marissa Tomei was in the first season of A Different World.
You
She
know
was,
that.
like, token white in A Different World. But then it kind of morphed into a completely different show, so it's fine.
Like,
Uh,
see, this is how you change your premise, dear white people.
you just get rid of a couple of characters, because also the whole thing with The Different World is that it was a spinoff of The Cosby Show with,
Uh,
Denise going to college. Like, this is Lisa Bonet's character going off to college. So Lisa Bonet was in season 1,
and
and
then
then
it all.
and they yeah, I don't know if she left the show or they got rid of her character, I have no idea.
Well, that's awkward, but still, Cree Summers, our
Love
black
you.
indigenous queen.
Um, so good. Also a really good theme song too. It's a different world. But yeah. So moving on, I recommend it. It's a funny show. Next up we have a bit of a wild card pick, Static Shock.
My God, black excellence, black excellence. Dwayne McDuffie, I love you so much. Rest in peace. Also, you told my father to go to hell. I think that was pretty cool of you.
I feel like you've told this story once on stream, but would you like to reiterate kind of a little bit of the backstory there?
Dad is like a really annoying comic book fan, and when Static Shock was on, he wrote like I guess like a fan critique of Static Shock and emailed it to Dwayne McDuffie. I don't know how he found that man's email, but he did. And he was basically saying that you should stop having celebrity guest stars because it's ruining your show. Like you're distracting from the plot. Who wants to see this? It's not like it's for kids. And Dwayne McDuffie just wrote him back one line that said "Go to hell," and that was it. And I think that was so baller of him, especially since there was this grown ass man complaining that a show on the kids WB was like targeting children and not like true comic book fans. And he never shut up about that. He was so angry that he would like Dwayne McDuffie would ever say anything like that to him. I thought it was baller of him. Thank you.
Thank you and good night. I remember the show. I think I can't remember what show I watched before, like on Kids WB, whatever came on before Static Shock. It might have been like Animaniacs or Batman the Animated Series. But I remember like going into Static Shock and enjoying it. Also, my bestie Jason Marsden on the show too.
I have
So
a static shirt. I should have worn it today, but I didn't. It's cold.
it is cold.
Yeah,
But knowing that you own one,
I do. I got it from Comic Con one year, and I was one of the few people. It was a black shop owner that had it, and I was like, oh my god, static. And I think I was quite young. And he's just like, you know who this character is? And I was like, of course I do.
yeah.
It's
Also,
static. It's Virgil.
Also, the Static Shock was on from 2000 to 2004.
But
So
when I was that age, I think I was like freshman year of college, I looked like I could be 14/15. So I
oh,
looked like I was slightly too young to have seen that show when it was on the air.
gotcha. Okay, so they were just like, "How do you know this, young
Exactly.
person?"
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like, "How do you know this? You're like 14." Like,
it's
"No, I'm
like,
actually like 19. Thank you."
very much.
Yeah,
So, ugh,
a discount on the shirt.
amazing. I would love to go to a Comic-Con one day and to get a shirt that is very niche and cool and very baller, but
I have
one day.
a bunch of stuff from Comic Con. Like, oh, you can't see it, but in the corner over there, I have a Beauty and the Beast poster, but it's like Beast from X-Men.
Oh, I was like, I didn't know you like Beauty and the Beast like
I
that, but
don't particularly. Like one day I'll like bring it forward and show people, but I don't want to get up and get it.
You don't have it readily available?
It's
Like, I
like
have
over
my hey
there.
Arnold. I can
I
see it. I can see something blue,
yeah.
but
Should I go get it?
if you want to.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll just close my camera for a second. Oh shit! Don't open up again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I have returned. The bat's back.
Bat's back.
The bat.
Grand reveal.
Okay, big reveal. So this is my beauty, and oh no, the glare is so bad. You can see it kind of.
Yeah, you can see
Beauty
it.
and the Beast. Let me see if I do that. That doesn't make a difference. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. I have all these posters from Comic Con. This is the L's, Kal-El.
Oh, wow.
The obviously the supers, and then this is a Batman and Superman poster that I got.
Wow. DC Stan.
Yeah, DC stand for life, for
For
lifer.
for lifer. That was fucking hilarious. Only because I was like, I wanted to say while you were gone, I'm like, Momo likes to hide her legs because she's got a massive leg tat that just goes all the way down.
No,
She doesn't want anyone
I
to see it.
don't.
I was gonna lie, but I decided not to for the sake of friendship. But that's
I have
amazing.
to hide the fact that I'm 5'5" to everyone.
Momo is not 5'5".
You don't know that.
No, but I do because you told me your real height, which is 5'3", 5'2", 5'3".
You see, you don't know I'm not 5'5".
I know it's not fucking 5'5" though
You
because
don't know
we're
that.
the same height. So I'm 5'3". You're 5'3".
Am I or am I 5'5"?
No, you're not 5'5".
Okay, I'm not 5'3".
Okay. Are
Five.
you? Well, I guess we're gonna keep going down then. So 5'2".
I'm 5'5".
You're 5'2".
Anyway, static shock, Black excellence.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. Static Shock and
According to
Black.
the internet, I'm like 5'10".
The internet has your height?
No, but
Oh,
everyone thinks I'm like 5'10" or higher, like 5'9" to 5'10".
I thought you were tall. Like before you told me your real height, which is 5'2" or 5'3", I thought that you nope, absolutely not. I thought that you were like 5'7", 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm tall, so I'm just going to embrace it because I'm 5'5". Yeah.
The thing is, if you're going to embrace being tall, why not shoot for 5'7"
I
or
feel like that's like believable.
but 5'5" is
It is.
oh my gosh. Okay, moving on from this nonsense. Momo definitely not being fucking 5'5". We've got the Parkers.
I can't rate this show because I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh my gosh. Of the like UPN
Mhm,
shows, I like the Parkers a lot more than I liked One on One.
mhm,
Because I appreciate that it was like a mother-daughter dynamic. They were both like plus size women, both
mhm.
hilarious. And I don't know, like I'm sure that the show had its like faults, but I don't remember them. So for that, I want to put it an A.
Okay.
And that's really all she wrote on that. I wish I had more to say, but I too do not remember this show that much.
I like how when there's a black main character, the white girl is always a redhead for whatever reason. I don't
Oh,
know why.
always. Well, because like they like to be like, oh, well, gingers are like they're persecuted in the same way, so they would get it. It's like
That's
no,
not true, but
that's
moving
not
on.
true. That is so not true, but they always do. They always got to have a redhead white girl. Speaking of redhead white girl best
That's so
friends,
Raven.
that's
Yeah.
so Raven.
The future I
I
can
can
see.
see.
Oh, yeah, Black Excellence. We didn't even have to get into it. I think we've gushed about it so much, how,
Mhm.
a lot of firsts for Disney. First Black female lead, first show to reach 100 episodes. Um, there's more.
There's a lot more. It's just a good show. First of all, Raven was fucking running Disney Channel like she was getting it the whole time. And That's a Raven was absolutely no different. And it was like objectively
Mhm.
the best show on Disney Channel for a
It
couple of
was.
years. For a couple of years. The physical comedy, the writing, when they would deal with like different issues like fat phobia, racism, um,
You know
everything.
you know what Disney Channel should do? They should
Mm.
have, like a throwback block where they just play, like, old shows that used to be popular on Disney Channel.
They should do that, but also I think technically like Disney Channel as like a thing is like doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it's
Um,
not real
it's
anymore?
like there's like Disney Channel is ending, but it's still a physical channel. I don't know how they're dicing it
I
up, but
don't know
it's
if they're gonna
something
plan on
like
doing
that.
that.
But I guess they're just probably like prioritizing streaming, so they're like, just go
That's
watch
fair.
it on Disney Plus.
Like, I just don't I think, like, the cam sitcom is dying out, and that's all
Mhm.
that was on Disney Channel for a very, very long time. Like, if it wasn't, a cartoon, it was a multicam sitcom, and they're not just, like they're not funny anymore.
No, they're not giving the girls what they need. I can't think of a First of all, I feel like in the
Mhm.
respective 3, like the big 3, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney. Disney was amongst the first to start kind of dying out as far as, like, the shows being good. Um, I
I
think
mean,
I'm at a
I think it was Nickelodeon.
What do you mean? Like, which show?
I mean, like, when they started to pivot towards more live action content and, like,
Yeah,
alien-heavy, cartoons, I think that's when it was starting to go downhill for
yeah.
them. Like, the last really great show I think they put out was True Jackson VP, and then it kind of went downhill from there. I think they did, like, the superheroes that was it didn't
Y
hit because I think Disney XD had a family of superheroes at the same exact time it came out before them.
I think it was Henry Danger.
Something like
Um,
that, yeah.
that show was on for a very long time.
It
Like,
was.
it was a massive show for Nickelodeon. I think they just outlasted the
Mhm.
Disney XD show
It
that
did,
had
it
superheroes.
outlasted it. It came on after it and it left after it.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't think it was giving anymore.
it wasn't.
Um, but Disney Channel, I think it was with, My Babysitter's a Vampire where they started doing their single cam comedies.
Yeah, and even then, that was, like, not a homegrown
Yeah,
Disney Channel show, that was, like,
it was
imported
Canadian or
from
something, and
yeah, it was from
it
Canada.
felt weird. When you watched it, you were just like, "Why is this
It
so different?" And it's because it was, like, the only single cam show to ever be on Disney Channel.
and then they just
They canceled it out of nowhere, and
cancel
people
really.
really loved it too.
It was a good show, I liked it.
Mhm.
Well, obviously, because I like vampires, but I liked it because it was, like, it was funny,
Yeah.
but I think where I started to peace out from Disney Channel was Dog with a Blog. I was like,
Oh,
"Okay,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
done here."
that was just, like, not a very good show, and then they had Liv and Maddie, which I didn't think was a very good show either, but also I was too old for Disney Channel at that point. Maybe it was just, like, me being like, "I don't wanna watch
Mm,
this stuff."
yeah.
Austin and Ally was not it for me either.
I watched a couple episodes, I was like, "It's cute." It's not it's not great, but it's cute. Girl Meets World, which
It had potential, it did not hit, though.
Maya, like, Maya, I can't believe this. I Just knowing what Boy Meets World was,
That's the
Girl Meets
problem.
World is just not they should've just made it a different show and just cast Corey and Topanga and been like, "Oh, like, they're in this new show, but it has nothing to do with Boy Meets World."
They tried it. I really don't know why they decided to have like, son there because it didn't work with, like, oh my gosh, whatchamacallit? With they had Corey and Eric, and then they had Nicole? Was that the little sister?
Maybe.
I
Yeah.
think it might have been Nicole, something like that. But, like, having the little sibling that's not one of the main characters does not work. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
work.
Does not work at all. Also, never, never, ever will forgive them for making Sean end up with a white woman.
And not
They
Angela.
and not Angela, like, they're sick and nasty for that, and the fact that Ryder Strong and, Trina McGee were like, "We wanted our characters to end up together." It made the most sense story-wise, but they just had to have her end up or have him end up with some whatever. Point still stands.
It
That
wasn't
show.
the vibes.
It was not the vibes. The vibes
Oh,
were
but anyway,
completely
back to That's So Raven.
I
Yeah.
completely yeah. I think because we know that it's in Black Excellence and we've
Yeah.
talked about it so much. But yeah, back to That's a Raven, Black Excellence, but we already knew that. Okay, next up, we were not away from the Blackish family of shows for long.
Grownish, 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 grownish.
Now, I will say, Grownish had a lot of potential. I watched like the first 3 seasons and
I
I
think
was
I watched the
invested.
first 2.
I was invested. I will say I was invested from episode 1 in thinking Zoe's character was god awful and how she was written. Not Yara's performance though. Love you,
I
bestie.
mean, you
But
did a really great job in portraying, like, a not likable character.
yeah, if that was the vibe, knocked it out of the park. Fantastic, 10 out of 10. But every if that wasn't what we were trying to do.
My number 1 issue with Grownish is that they have too many characters and they know what to do with, because they have
Mhm.
Vivek there, and there's literally no reason for him to be in the show because he never gets a storyline.
No,
He, like, might get a runner in, like, an episode, but there's no story there for him, and there could be, it's just they don't bother writing one for him. Yet
no.
he's, like, a main one of the main cast members. Like, you shouldn't have had his character there if you weren't going to do anything with him.
I first of all, number 1 for me, I hate a love triangle
Mhm.
storyline. If it's in something, I'm probably not going to like it, and that sucks because so many shows that I watched have love triangles, fucking Vampire Diaries, Elena, Damon, and the other one, love triangle, True Blood, annoying ass Sookie, annoying ass Bill, and sexy ass Eric. Love triangle. This, Zoe and the other 2.
And the
Love
other
triangle. I don't care to remember their names. But I just because they get the most like milk toast characters to be the central point of the love triangle. And it's not even a love triangle. It's a V because they're not dating each other. So it's a V. They are equally dating one person. But that is like beyond that, it was a lot of things that they wrote like they tried to address colorism in the show, which was a big deal, but they didn't have the main character address it. They had side characters address it, even though people critiqued the main character for kind of being a like I don't know, like were critiquing Zoe, but then they had like Chloe and Hallie's characters address colorism and not even in a super meaningful way. So it's just a lot of like topical things that were going on.
Mhm.
But that is to say, I appreciate that it was like a show centered around a black girl in college, which I
Yeah,
can't think of any other show that's done that.
except Dear White People.
Well, we know where that is. Uh, but 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 the Grownish, I I would put it in B. I think it's a show with a lot of potential that they just didn't know what to do with. And I agree. I think there's just too many characters that they all are kind of like they could have a smaller cast and develop them a lot more than have a bigger cast and have all these
Oh, yeah.
characters kind of just
The one you could
wander
really
about.
kick off Vivek's character, like, erase his scenes from every portion of the show, and it would be the exact
Exact
same
same.
show,
Yeah.
because they did not bother to give this kid a storyline at all.
Nope. Nope, they did not. Yeah, it's a lot of them. A lot of them can go. Uh, so that's all I got on Grownish.
Characters. I would honestly wanna put it in C because they have too many characters and they didn't, like, flesh they didn't do a good job establishing them. Even in, like, the seasons they are in now, it's like they just add people to the cast without treating the characters they already have well at all. Like, they
That
have
is true.
the main storyline of Zoe and the 2 guys she's interested in that still is somehow a thing 3, 4 years into the show. And then you might have a story with either Anna and one of the boys or, with the twins. I think Chloe and Halle play twins in the show. Um, and you might have Nomi in a runner, or you might have Vivek in a runner, but, like, the only reason why Nomi's in the show is because she's the one white character to be, um, the the representation for white people, and I think the only gay representation as well. Um,
Mhm.
and then there's Vivek, who is just there.
So it's like,
It's just the writing wasn't great. They bit off way more than they could chew.
yeah, when they could have just, like, really honed in
Mhm.
on Zoe going to college. And
Get
in college, there's a lot of premises that they could have dealt with, but they tried to do all of them at the same time,
Yeah.
running concurrently,
Mhm.
and
Didn't work.
it doesn't work. I agree. I think it's a show that had a lot of really great potential, just not the best execution.
Like, I thought it was interesting that she was going to school for fashion. I was like, "Okay, that's cool, interesting." But then they, like, kind of did that storyline, and then they went away from it, then they tried to focus on other characters with, like, I think it was Hallie's no, Chloe's character and Doug, and they just kept going back and forth, and we're just like, "Okay, now we're back to Zoe and her fashion thing. Zoe's not gonna do fashion anymore." It's like, "Okay, what's she doing? She's gonna do fashion. Okay, I don't know what's happening anymore."
Yeah, it's too much happening all at once,
Mm,
and bleh, you know, just focus on a couple good things.
mhm.
Hone those in.
Yara, you were great in the show, though, thank you.
You're amazing, Yara. I just want you to know that we both
Yeah.
believe fantastic in the show. Just the writing, not great.
Everybody hates Chris. Black excellence.
I I was a little bit worried because I didn't know where we were going, but yeah,
Black
Black
ex
Excellence.
it was
It's fun. It's
yeah.
fucking funny.
Mhm.
It's so funny. Um, I've got nothing else to add. It's just funny.
Like, it's a black family, and, you don't have the light-skinned wife, light-skinned daughters, uh,
Yeah.
like, stereotype. You just have this poor hapless kid, and it's funny.
It's so it's so funny. I think one of the funniest parts of that show is his teacher. That white lady would just say the most out of pocket shit. And she would say it so earnestly too. She really thought that she was like a woman for the people, but she would just be so out of pocket. Um, and I don't know.
She
It's
tried to be
just
Miss Grokey, and it was not working.
no, it was not working at all. It's just it's I kind of like almost like a Charlie Brown character where it's like things don't go well for Chris,
Yeah.
but you laugh in the process. And that's what matters.
Tyler James Williams, great then, great now on Abbott Elementary, which I don't
Elementary.
know if it made this list.
Did not even think to put it on there because we're not even done with season 1 yet,
Okay,
but
fair.
once season 1 is done, and if we circle back to Black TV, it will be on there and it will be in Black Excellence.
Yeah,
I know
Quinta Brunson, Black excellence, loved you since BuzzFeed.
Loved you. Loved you in BuzzFeed, loved you in a Black Lady sketch show, which I was gonna put on here, but I was like, it could
Counts. I love the Black Lady sketch show.
I think it got replaced by something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, that's Black excellence too. Black women in sketch. I mean, I'm always gonna say yes. Come on. Come on. Next up, a little bit of an interesting pick, but I really enjoyed this show. And I know that
Doc
uh,
McStuffins.
we both appreciate early childhood educational programming. So, thoughts on
I
Doc
was
McStuffins?
obviously too old to watch, like, Doc McStuffins. If I could put a Black excellence show from my childhood that I did watch, that was, like, Disney Junior slash Playhouse Disney, I would put PB and J Otter because they were,
Oh,
Otter family.
I didn't even think about BB&J Otter.
Ooda, ooda, oodale.
Well, wasn't one of the otters voiced by a white dude?
That's not my problem. I didn't do that. I didn't cast him. I did not cast him. I didn't. I didn't do that. I just know that black mom, that otter was a black mom. Did you see her afro?
You really said that has nothing to
Nothing
do
to do
with
with
me.
me. It has
That has
nothing to do with
nothing to do with me.
all I know is
That's so
that was a
funny.
black mom. She had an afro. The girl's hair was pressed, and that's the little boy was bald. That's all I knew.
You know what? That's enough. That's enough. That's a black family of otters. Um, but I do have a different pick
Mhm.
that is a show that people might not think is black, but is actually black. That's after
Okay.
or that's our last one. But Doc McStuffins, the only reason why I've seen this show is because my brother was watching it kind of on and off. Like
Mhm.
I was able to see things that were on Disney Junior around the time that Doc McStuffins was on because of him. Um, and I have to say, it's a show that is legitimately so cute and so wholesome. Loretta Devine is in it. She plays the hippo nurse that like helps out Doc McStuffins. Um, it's just I don't know. It's just a really cute premise, a really cute show, really important show I think as far as uh like like preschool age educational programming, just to have visibility of a young black girl who's a doctor. Um, who is super imaginative. It's not like she's just only like logical brain. She's also like, she does her little daydreams and whatnot. Animation is questionable as far as quality goes, but everything else about the show is just chef's kiss.
I like the color palette, so that's up to where you were to put it because I have not seen it.
I'm putting it in black excellence.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal show. If you got kids, show them Doc McStuffins. They'll turn out better than if they watch, I don't know, Coco Melon or whatever the fuck.
Also, watch Bear in the Big Blue House or PB&J
Don't.
Otter.
Actually, don't watch Bear in the Big Blue House. I got beef
Right.
with that bear. And I got beef with that bear. But it's one of my biggest most embarrassing moments of my life. Most embarrassing moment. I'll
I
tell the
completely
story.
forgot.
I'll
I only
tell the
missed it
story.
because I do love it.
So I too loved Bear in the Big Blue House until I didn't. I made a video about Bear in the Big Blue House, and I concede that it was not the best video I've ever made. But I was also in a dark place at the time, and so I was just trying to turn out content because
Fair.
that's what you do. That's the grind.
That's fair. Is
So,
Out of the Box on this list?
Out of the Box is not on this list.
It should be. That's a show that should be here, as well as Between the Lines.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Whatever.
Those are honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, Out of the Box and, Between the Lines.
Yeah.
But I made a video and I got some things wrong in it, which I don't mind that I got
Mhm.
things wrong because I like constructive criticism. Um, so rather than in the comments people telling me I got something wrong, I got the voice and puppeteer for Bear duetted my video, basically ripping it apart in a very kind way. Like, it's not like he was mean about it, but I didn't even tag him. I didn't do any of that thing. He found it. Like, I don't know if people sent it. He found it. And I remember when he put that video up, I was so humiliated. Like, I felt it was like because it was so public. And it's just that's the thing with TikTok. If you say something and you're wrong, someone can like correct you no matter how nice in a very public way. And then people are so awful when you get something wrong too. So it wasn't just him doing that and like him being a pillar of my childhood basically telling me you got this thing wrong, but then it was people in the comments also like trying to discredit me. I remember crying for hours. I was hurt. And so till this day, the memory of Bear in the Big Blue House is tarnished for me because of
I'm so
something
sorry.
that happened when I was like 20, 22. So
Mm.
I got beef with the bear. That's all I got to say. But anyways, That's my story, my most embarrassing story. But it's okay. It's all right. You know, it is what it is. You fuck up sometimes. And sometimes you fuck up on a very public platform where someone from your childhood can tell you that you're wrong. Anyways, moving
Yeah,
on.
that might have happened, but then Jason Marsden sent you merch.
He
So,
did. He sent me merch, so
do you have like a signed Tito?
I do have I will go get it.
Oh my
I,
god.
I'm gonna go grab it really fast.
I fucking
Oh,
love the Weekenders. If you are new here, you might not know this, but Bobby and I are both really massive The Weekenders fans. And Bobby got sent merch by James Marsden, I believe that's how you say his name.
no, Jason.
Jason,
James
wow, Jason.
Marsden is the one from Enchanted.
Jesus Christ. I tell you, people with the same name, it fucks me up. I don't know who is who.
The thing is, that one's hard because they have the exact same last name,
Yeah,
and both of their names start with a J-A. So I'm not gonna fault you
sorry.
for that one.
Jason Marsden, sorry.
Jason.
Um,
Oh,
sent Bobby merch because he was so touched by her video. He sent me
yes.
the signed Tito. Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
So we're gonna build up. So I also am a massive fan of a Goofy movie. We've talked about this. I've talked about that I had a crush on Max Goof, which really was just a crush on Jason Marsden. So he sent me a signed Max,
God,
which says, "Bobby, you're yucking awesome," which
that's so cool. That's so cool.
means so much to me. If you don't know what Jason Marsden looks like, that's him. That's his face, and these are all the characters that he's voiced over the years. And this doesn't even scratch the surface. There are so many characters. And then got my signed Weekenders.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I would fucking lose it.
Yeah, there's Bobby. There's room for one more. Love, Tino.
That's so nice.
Later days. I remember because he said like, "Oh, I want to send you something," and I was like, "Okay." I thought it was gonna be a T-shirt. I didn't know what the fuck to expect. And then one day I was just at home and my mom was like, "Oh, you got like a package from someone." I was like, "What is this?" And I remember opening it, tears just welling up in my eyes because I was so like
Moved.
so moved. Because he is like I am a big fan of a lot of voice actors, but he's been one of my favorites since like I was a kid. So I have been keeping that in the envelope that he sent it to me in because I want to make sure to have it framed. Like I'm not sticking it up like I've been sticking it up these photos. I want frames for them.
One
So
at one point you're gonna reach like you're gonna get so popular that Cree Summers is gonna send you something. And like that is the only thing that could even come close to topping Jason Marsden.
I want to start collecting these voice actors' signatures like Infinity Stones. If I got something from Cree Summer, if I got something from Tara Strong, Rob Paulson, and Kath Soucie and Gray Delisle, oh, it's fucking done. It's
Power
over.
in the universe, Bobby.
It's at my fingertips. But
That's
yeah,
fair. Oh, where are
so
you putting Doc McStuffins?
I put it in Black Excellence. I'm putting Dr. Stuffins in Black Excellence. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but I'm always happy to
I think we
show
got
those 8x10s.
the junior stuff, and then it kind of spiraled.
It did. It absolutely did. But in the best way possible.
Black, I wouldn't say it's black. Is it bluey?
Blue, oh yeah. I don't think no. I think those are Caucasian dogs. I've heard a lot of really good things about Bluey. And just how good of a show it is. I have not watched it because I am 23. So I'll check it out one day. Who knows? Pivoting from a really light show to
Oh,
a
this is not light
really
at all.
dark show, but a well-written show, is I May Destroy You.
I have not seen it, but I love Michaela Cole.
I have seen like bits and pieces of it because it's a pretty heavy show. It's a HBO show, so of course it's pretty heavy. But I remember that I can't remember what it got at the Emmys. Was it best? Was it outstanding writing?
I
Maybe.
can tell you.
I can't remember. But I will support a black woman getting her own show and getting awards for it. So I Made to Shore You here because it is an excellent show. I will put it in A just because I haven't seen it,
Okay.
so I don't know for sure if it's black excellence. I assume it is. I
Mhm.
have no doubts in my mind that it isn't, but so
Okay.
far of what I've seen, it's phenomenal. So
I
that's it. That's
agree.
all I got. I
I mean,
agree.
I don't have any thoughts on the show. I haven't seen it, but I like Michaela Cole.
She's phenomenal, fucking powerhouse when it comes to writing. Like HBO, they do a lot of things that are questionable, but when it comes to employing black women, they know what the fuck is up. So I appreciate that. So as we round out or beginning to round out our list, we have our last kind of serious live action show. Well, it's not serious, but a live action show, Atlanta.
I actually haven't seen Atlanta.
Momo.
It's on my to watch list, but then like things just keep over like eclipsing it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, especially
It's
because it's on Netflix and like Netflix is kind of fallen in grace in terms of streaming platforms. Like right now, HBO Max, Hulu, and then Netflix. So it just keeps dipping on the like to watch.
yeah, and it's also there's so much content to sift
There's
through.
so much.
So it's hard to find it, but Atlanta is a good show, a Peabody award-winning show.
Not a
Couple of these
Peabody, a Peabody.
yeah, not a Peabody, a Peabody. A couple of these shows have Peabodys now that I think about it. But it is a good show. I think I'm biased, but as I said, I'm from Atlanta. It is again a rare occurrence of a show being centered and like taking place in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Donald Glover is from the town where my grandma lives,
Ooh,
um, Stone Mountain, Georgia, where there's a big old rock and there's a Confederate uh, thing etched into it
me.
and where the KKK still regularly meets.
Ooh.
Anyways, it's a good show. I definitely think it has its faults as far as the representation of black women in it.
I figured.
Um, but as far as being a funny show, a show centered in like around like black culture and everything, also Lakeith Stanfield is really good in it. Brian Tyree Henry is phenomenal in it.
Is
I
that
give it
Carlos from
from
uh
Eternals.
Eternals?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was like the I don't know if that was his like kind of like coming out party, like that was his big break or whatever, but that was the first time I saw him.
okay.
But I give the show like a solid A.
Okay.
Just a solid A. But if they keep having wonky ass portrayals of black women, it's shooting down to fucking this is for white people. So don't piss me off, Donald. Do not piss me off. But funny, funny show. Also, if you're from Atlanta, you should probably watch it because it's really good. All right, and last up, I said that this was a show that doesn't seem like it's a black show, but it's a black show.
I have no idea what it could be.
Let's see.
The Backyardigans.
The
Oh, it's
baggy.
a black show.
I mean, for the music.
Your backyard friends, the backyard again, together in the backyard again.
Okay.
We
We got our whole wide world in our yard to explore. Um, if you don't know, fun fact about the Backyardigans, it was created by Janice Burgess, who was she's a black woman. And she was like a major executive at Nickelodeon for so many years. So this is like the Backyardigans is a really like homegrown Nick Jr. show. Um, and I don't know, like it's enough for me to be black excellence because Janice Burgess created
It's
it.
absolutely a black show.
For sure. For sure. Like
Black excellence. 100%. Only
100%.
person here that's probably not black is Austin.
Yeah, I get Mark vibes, like, I'm rocking with Mark 'cause Mark's rocking with us. Um,
Like, some people would say Pablo. No, Pablo is Afro-Latin.
yeah, I
Thank
was
you.
about to say he's Afro-Latina for sure, but if I had to quantify or just say, like, what I think their individual races are, races and ethnicities, Pablo, Afro-Latina, we know this. Um, Austin, cool white dude
Mhm,
who grew up around black people, but obviously knows that that doesn't mean that he automatically has a black scent.
mhm.
Um, Uniqua, beautiful chocolate dark skinned girl. Tasha, I get light skinned girl vibes,
Like,
but like not I'm torn between black and white.
she has a black mom.
Black mom for sure. Black mom, white dad for sure. Um, and what's the last one?
Tyrone.
Oh, Tyrone, beautiful dark skinned black boy. Black boy joy.
Yeah.
We
That's
got the whole bunch.
all that is correct.
This, as far as I'm concerned, that is how they looked in my head if you were to make them
Mhm.
like human.
If you were to make the Backyardigans white, it would look so wrong because it's wrong.
It's simply not correct. Also, they have way too much rhythm for all of them to be I'm so sorry, but they just have entirely too much rhythm. Those songs were slapping too hard. The vocals were impec they got one, and it's Austin, and he was not getting that many lines in the songs,
I
let's
don't
just say
think I
that.
can name a single Austin song. I think he had the one song about being shy, and that was it.
That tells the story. That absolutely tells the story. Austin knew his place. Let's just say that. In the dynamic
Yeah.
of the Backyardigans, Austin knew his place.
The Backyardigans is black excellence. I agree.
Absolutely. So that rounds out the list.
That
25 Black excellence.
and if you have a favorite show that was probably starring a black girl that did not make the list, that's okay. We will be back with the ranking for Black
Mhm.
Girl TV.
Yeah.
March.
Yes, we will.
Fred,
It will
True Jackson VP, maybe Symphonique Miller and How to Rock, maybe. We'll see how we feel. But I guess honorable mentions here are Just Jordan, The Romeo Show. Uh,
Cousin Skeeter.
anyone else you think that we forgot to add that wasn't here?
What, like, Cousin Skeeter? What's her name? Taina? She's like Afro Latina.
I guess I mean like TV shows that would be on this list but didn't make it.
Yeah, Taina. That was a show.
Oh, I thought Cousin Skeeter was the name of the show. I haven't seen it.
They're two separate shows, Cousin
Oh,
Skeeter and Taina. Um, what else? There was another PB&J Otter.
PB and J Otter for sure.
PB&J Otter out of the box.
Out of the
Um, so many other shows I think that I was just not thinking of at 10 o'clock in the morning because I forgot that we were doing this. So, but I think we got a good list here. I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud of the placements. I stand 10 toes down for them. And just would love to reiterate, if you see Blackish and Grownish in C, just know that we do love all of the actors
Mhm.
in the show. It's just the writing leaves something to be desired.
That's
As
my
much as
thoughts on that as well. But
that.
thank you so much for joining us on this pre-recorded episode of the ranking. We
Mhm.
will see you back next week for ooh. Do you remember off the top of your head what next week was? Oh, it's a game night.
It's a game night, so we will be back not talking about TV, but playing some games.
Yes. I don't know what next week's game is. It's gonna be a surprise.
It's always a surprise to me until we start playing it. So so
But
we'll
you can
see.
catch us on our socials, and I think this is where we're gonna plug our stuff. So, um, by the time you see this, it'll soon be time for the Lynx Magic is Wild campaign to come out on Lark Network.
Mhm.
Bobby's going to be playing in it as a character, and I am DMing it. It's my first time being a DM, so I'm not perfect. I'm not Matthew Mercer. I'm not that bronze girl. I'm not Brennan Lee Mulligan. But I do try my very hardest. And Bobby is her first time playing.
And I too am simply trying my best.
Yeah.
If you hear me in combat asking Momo questions, you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Also, if you're doing combat and the attackers are not being able to hit anyone, it's because I am physically incapable of rolling over a 10 on a d20.
Yeah, it's bad for Momo. It's great for us because let's just say my character really needs low rolls when it comes to her attackers. So it works out for me.
I've tried my best here. I can only do the best I can.
She just Momo loves me so much that she refuses to roll well against me. And that's okay.
Yeah. And you had stuff to plug, Bobby.
I do have stuff to plug. The Hi, I'm Bobby podcast will be returning before the end of the month. I don't know what day. I haven't figured that out yet, but it'll be soon. It has to be soon because the month is ending very soon. And also the afternoon special on YouTube will be a thing that's happening probably either very last week of February or first week of March. I have merch that will be launched probably by the end of this week. We don't
Ooh,
know.
Bobby's merch. This is the
So
first time I've heard about it.
it's totally the first time
Oh,
you've heard
yeah.
and he's not at all clamoring to get a sweatshirt every time we bring it up at all. So be on the lookout for that. And you can find me on TikTok and on Instagram at the afternoon special and over on Twitter at Hi, I'm Bobby, where I um if you're looking for anything insightful from me on Twitter, just don't.
It's fine.
It's fine. Where can the people find you, Momo?
They can find me on TikTok. I am very busy, so I'm not making like hella content, but I do have things to say. Um, but you can also find me here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern. Not live,
Not live
pre-recorded.
though, pre-recorded.
Mhm.
But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Bye.
Bye.